Live from the campus of Holyoke Community College, this is 103.5 WCCH Best in Variety with Amanda Bronson. I said that right.
Yes, you
and
did.
Patrick LaBelle, my co-host.
Woo.
Welcome. Well, first of all, before we get started with anything, welcome to the show, Amanda. Glad to have you on. You are my first guest on Midday with the Rod.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, we were excited to have you on. I think this was brewing for a few weeks, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
We were excited because we were talking about it for weeks and we were brewing to get you on a show. Last week didn't work, but I was like, I gotta have you on for my first half of the show today. So I'm glad I did because I know you're big into MLB. So I wanted to kick things off with Major League Baseball, if you don't mind.
Love it.
And why don't you go, since you only have like 20, 25 minutes on, why don't you go tell the people about the Boston Red Sox and what do you expect from them this year?
All right. Well, we currently have a giant IL. We have 5 pitchers on the IL right now. And most of them will not be returning until the middle of the season or the end of the season. We have Devers still rehabbing his shoulder. And Trevor Story should be back today. So we'll see how he's doing.
Do you think Devers will play in a few weeks, though, right, on opening day?
They have him returning possibly March 15th, which is only a few days away.
That's Saturday.
Yeah.
So, well, then, yeah, it's before opening day.
So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, so what do you think the Sox are going to be this year? I think they're going to be a team to reckon with. I'm not a Sox fan, I'm a Yankees fan, but I think that they're going to be a good team this year. I think they'll be back in the postseason. I don't know what you think about that, but
I think you're right. We just got to get some of that pitching staff back.
I think the key to success, I would say, is health. So
yeah, for sure. Sure.
My team's already down the drain with injuries, so I mean, I'm not even going to get into that. I guess I'll sadly mention Garrett Cole getting Tommy John. So he's out for the entirety of 2025 and some of 2026, if I could add that today, too. Unfortunately, he just had his surgery yesterday in Los Angeles. Very crushing blow. I feel like this is A-Rod all over again when they caught him with the whole steroids thing. Even he was out but this is entirely different because Tommy John and that is entirely different, but I just feel like that's what it is all over again, and I'm just like, as a Yankee fan, I'm like, first we lose Stanton, that always gets hurt, then we lose our ace, $40 million ace for the entirety of 2025 and some of 2026. DJ LeMahieu's been battling injuries 2 to 3 years, lose him again for 3 to 6 months. We lost the former rookie of the year, Luis Heel, for 3 months. 4 or 5 of our players down the drain, the season hasn't even started yet. Like, I don't know what is there to say. Like, I mean, made out of glass, I guess. I guess that's all I can really say. I mean, I can't say that to Cole. Poor guy just had Tommy John surgery. But, I mean, like, he was fighting through it last year all throughout until the World Series. And then I guess the elbow just barked too much. So, but hey, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. I guess he'll be there, but he just won't be on the mound. He'll be there to support and stuff like that. But it's a crushing blow, not what I wanted to happen a few weeks before opening day. So, but you think the Sox are back in the playoffs this year, Amanda? I really hope so. I see that. They upgraded a lot, and tell them about the acquisitions you got in the offseason.
Yeah, who's been coming in?
Want me to help you out a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought you might ask. I'll go with you to get Alex Bregman. You got Garrett Crochet.
We'll take it.
You got Garcia, that bullpen guy that might be your closer, maybe. You got who else am I missing? Who else did you guys get? But those are the 3 biggest ones. I think Alex Bregman's gonna be a beast. I think that his OPS at Fenway is crazy too. So watch out. I even predicted this a few weeks ago with my friends. I said he'd bat 295, 30 homers, maybe over 100 RBIs, and over 1,000 OPS.
That sounds fantastic to me. I would love
For
that.
you Sox fans out there, I'm just throwing out some random stats. I mean, he's a good hitter too. He used to kill us when he was facing the Yankees in Houston. Now I got to deal with him like 12, 13 times a year now, so that's gonna be fun. I guess.
Yeah, my bold prediction: the Sox take the division.
Yes, Pat LaBelle mentioned that last week.
Yep.
Quite a hot take, but you know what? It's definitely possible.
I looked into my crystal ball.
The division's open, brother. It's open. So
Just win, baby, win.
And I think the Yankees' chances of getting back to the World Series now that Cole's out is very thin. I think they'll make the playoffs, but they're not going to get back there.
Yeah, that's a huge loss for them.
So their chances just bump down to like here. So, but no, March 27th is opening day. So that is
Come right up.
15 days away.
Yeah.
So get your popcorn ready. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Get your popcorn ready because 162 games are gonna go by like that.
Big Al, I don't know about you, but I gotta say this weather lately really been getting me in the baseball mood.
Yeah.
Finally feels like we're
We
getting
hit
out of the dark
last-
ages of
the
winter.
last 2 days. We hit 60.
We'll
It's been
take that.
beautiful.
I just want it to be 60s and 70s again. So just to get back into that baseball feeling.
Do you go to a lot of games, Al?
I've been to a boatload of Yankee games before, yeah. I've also been to Fenway a few times too, so I love it. But if there's a ballpark I really want to go visit, Camden Yards in Baltimore.
Ooh, yeah.
I heard how beautiful it is down there. Tropicana Field, not so much. The roof there is a little too much too. I don't really like the ballpark there. Maybe the Rogers Center.
Oh,
I want to check that out too. Why do you say that?
Bias. Named after you, Al.
Yeah, it's true. It is named after me. I don't think it's directly named after me, but the last name is named after me, Rogers Center.
Sure.
But no, I mean, I would like to check out a few more ballparks. Like maybe when I get a little older. If there's another one I might want to check out, I think this is the oldest park. It's besides Fenway, it's Wrigley Field.
Oh, yeah.
Up
that'd be on my
in
list.
Chicago, and actually a former pastor of mine used to live near there and used to go to a bunch of games there at Wrigley. So, he's like, the experiences there is great. You got to go there at some point. I was like, I'd love to. That'd be so much fun. And maybe later on, but like, you know what else would be cool? And I don't think I mentioned this to you a few weeks ago. Going to spring training facilities. You know, ever think of that? I honestly think how cool that'd be, because I know the games don't really mean anything. You know, spring training, they're getting back into the swing of things. Just to see open fielding time, batting practice, pitchers doing their bullpen sessions, that stuff's like not really talked about, but I feel like if that's something I want to do in the future, that'd be one of them.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And you get closer to the field. There's less people there.
Yeah, there's bingo. You just took the words out of my mouth, Amanda. There's not really that many people there when it's a spring training game. This isn't the World Series and you're trying to win it all. This is spring training, getting back into things. But no, just an idea. I know that the Sox are in the Fort Myers, Florida.
That's right. Yep.
Yep. And I know the Yankees are in Tampa, Florida. Actually, speaking of the Yankees facility, Tampa Bay Rays are taking their facility this year to play there. I don't know if I mentioned that to you guys, but
No.
Tropicana Field, from all the hurricanes and all that, got destroyed. Like absolutely destroyed
Oh my God.
from that. I don't know, because they're rebuilding it right now or whatever, or something like that. But they're using our spring training facility this year for their ballpark.
Oh.
So, and I
Was
think
it
they
the roof.
I don't know, but you know what might bother them a lot? The foul territory down there, first base side. That might bother the Rays a little bit because the net in there is a little too much. But other than that, it's a beautiful ballpark. And the spring training facility, I like it. Jordan Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. But yeah, we are currently gonna share it to the Rays this year so they can have it during the regular season. Because of course they can't go to Tropicana if what I just told you.
Right.
Which is unfortunate, but like also that takes a lot of time to rebuild. So like from all the disasters and all the terrible things, but you know, part of the process. At least they have another place to play. Like they're not like going to Colorado or you know what I mean,
Right.
like elsewhere or something like that. But it's good. No, that's great. I'm glad that we're helping them out a little bit. But no, I'm definitely the MLB is like I think that's what I've told Pat the last few weeks. Once we get into that season, like on March 27th, when we start hitting bang and just going, that's when everything's gonna start picking up again. Like sports, like NFL free agency's been crazy. Me and Pat are gonna get to that later on in the show. I wish we'd do it. I want to save that for like last because I don't know if you noticed, the last few days of NFL free agency's been nuts. But I won't get to that right now because we're in the MLB. But the point is, like once that hits, MLB, NBA, NHL. Bang, 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 bang. Just going to keep going because the NBA goes from to June, followed by the NHL, and their playoffs are like the same time frame. So like, in plus MLB will be like, by the time they'll be in like June, around there when like they're done. So, but no, it's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to it. But I think personally, and I'll have to ask you this, Amanda, what your favorite time of the year of sports is, after I share mine. And I think Pat told me about a week or two ago what his was. I think me and yours were the same answer. It was when the NFL was in the midway through the season, the NBA's just starting, and the MLB's in postseason mode. Now, Amanda, do you have a favorite time of the year with sports like that, or are you just like down for whatever?
I think a little bit of both. I really enjoy the springtime when it starts to get nice out. I used to be a big softball player.
Oh, cool.
So it reminds me of that time. So I really enjoy the beginning.
Where'd you play?
Season.
Tell the people where you played and where was your position.
I played for high school. I went to high school in New Hampshire.
Oh, cool.
So I played up there. And I played mostly center field and shortstop.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Throughout high school, or just did you play like your entire life?
I played my entire life. I stopped playing around high school.
Oh. Well, I mean, that's good. You stuck for it for a while, though. That's cool, though. I mean, I think playing sports, because, like, unless if you, like, further it when you're done with high school, like, after you're done with it, like, unless you, like, further it and go on to college and play, it's very difficult. Like, I talked to someone about this the other day, like, like, try out or something like that, but, like, it's not easy. It's not high school sports, and college sports are entirely different than high school. I just talked to someone the other day that, like, quit, like, midway through the season because of school and work and all that, and I'm like, no, I get that. Like, I get how probably difficult and stressful that schedule probably is, but, especially trying to manage 3 things at once. Right. Sports season plus your college work plus just work and go. So, but that's definitely hard, but, sometimes you got to do what's best for you. But, no, Pat told me that he was an offensive lineman back in high school. Is that right?
That is true. Back in the day, right guard. Best pulling guard in the Hockomock League, if I do say so myself.
Pat, where did you...
And I do say so myself.
Where did you go to high school at?
I went to Canton High. I was a Bulldog back in the day. It's a suburb outside Boston.
Oh.
So you were in Canton, Mass?
That is true.
Wow.
You want to know my address, too?
I mean...
JK.
You're the one that mentioned that. I didn't say
controversy.
I didn't say no. I didn't say nothing.
Another time.
I didn't say nothing. No, that's cool. I mean, I think we all have a pretty cool sports background. I mean, and then I think we covered a little bit of the MLB. I think what times we got 1:13. We got 7 minutes before we go to our first break. But man, are you into hockey too? Because if I was going to say, I can mention that the Bruins made a comeback last night.
You talk about hockey all you'd like, and I'll join in.
Well, I don't really know that much about it, but I know Pat pays attention a little bit. I don't know, like, that much about it, but I know the Bruins were down 2-0 and made a comeback and won last night, down 3-2.
That's great.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Panthers last night.
Yeah, because, we were talking about the Bruins, I think, last week or maybe the week before, and they need to start showing some heart. So that's a good sign for them.
Pretty much gotten rid of like their entire team and beat their former player Brad Marchand last night.
Oh, there you go. The revenge game.
That's one way to look at it. And it looks like didn't really matter, down to 2-0. Comeback. Straight up.
2-0, most dangerous lead in hockey.
I think my friend said to me last night, it could be 8-5, still a comeback is what he said.
Yep.
There's one way to look at it, I guess. But, no, good win for the Bruins last night, for sure. I don't know when they play next, but I'm sure in the next day or two, probably. So that would push their record to, I think they were 28-27 and like 8 or something. Now that's 29, I believe. 27 and 8. I think that's what the record is now. I don't know if I'm right about that, but that's what I jotted down on notes yesterday. But no, good win for the Bruins, down 2-0, and then winning the game 3-2. So,
it's a nice bright spot.
Yeah, especially what they've been going through the last few weeks too, with losing like the team and stuff like that. Having different players go from here and there, and just like their front office organization, falling apart with a little, crisis there a little bit. People want to leave left and right, but and getting a win against your former teammate too, that's something. There you go.
It sounds like they needed that win.
No, definitely.
Morally.
Yeah. And I think I've said the last few weeks too, and Pat can even back me up on this, that, second half of the season you want to, like, wake up now. Like, for example, you don't want to start off 2-6 in your first 10 games back, or you could be, and on the opposite side, you'd want to start off like maybe 5-2 in your first like 7 or 10 games or something like that, and like go from there and just keep cranking it and try to creak your way back up to the postseason. You know, but another win streak wouldn't hurt that. That would get you to where you need to be. Now, I don't know where the Bruins are currently because I don't really pay attention standing-wise, but it looks like a win streak would really boost them back up a little bit. So
Yeah, Amanda, do you believe in the power of momentum in sports? You get a couple wins, you start moving.
Absolutely. I think it really does a lot for the confidence and gelling together as a team, having that
I think
morale boost.
Yeah, of course. And I think to back up what Amanda said, I think that when you come together as a unit, you come together as a team, especially where you're in the second half of the season, you want to come together and, you know, stick together. You don't want to do it no matter what, where you're in the season, no matter what it is. But you want to come together and just keep that momentum, you know, going, you know, until the end of the season and stay together, not drift apart. I know that, you know, last few weeks, tough time, you know, with losing a few guys, and Marshawn, you know what that is, but like, I feel like when you stay together, it's those moments where instead of drifting apart, you want to come together as like a unit.
Absolutely. And I think that's the big thing with team sports, right? Is rather than
being selfish, be selfless.
There you go.
Love it.
So, but
The team. That's what we like to say around here.
It's like I told you.
On 103.5 WCCH. You're listening to
Absolutely.
Midday with the Raj.
It's like you said, it's like we said a few hours ago, putting the team first.
Right?
Like, and even the bus driver when I was on the way to HCC today was like, well, Devers' position is Devers' position. I'm like, well, true, but Bregman can also play like second, short, and third.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look,
Very true.
you look at it. So, but like, you definitely want to put your team first, no matter what sport it is.
Right, and I also think it's really important to have someone be backup. So,
Oh well, yeah, and especially
knock on
if
wood.
someone's battling injury
Yep.
too. Exactly.
Right.
So no, 100%. You don't want to. That's what subs are there for.
Mhm.
So, but no, still plenty of time to go. Both NBA I'll get to after the break, but NBA, NHL, few months to go. I know the NBA playoffs will start sooner rather than later. At what is it? Midway through April, end of April. I think the last game's like the 17th or 19th. And then the NHL should be getting to that point at that time too. But no, I mean, and like I said, once MLB starts, bang, everything's just gonna click once again. So it's an exciting time, and once March 27th hits, because then we got 3 sports going all at once, and MLB is every single day. So I mean, you're not gonna miss a day of the MLB. So unless if we're in the All-Star break and everybody gets a week off, but that's we got time for that. But no, exciting time. Definitely, you know, excited to see, you know, how the Sox, the Yanks do. The rest of the MLB goes, you know, that'll be good. See how the NHL, how the Bruins finish off, if they finish strong. That's the key word, finish strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then obviously we got the Celtics, Golden State that I'll talk about at the break. You know, keep the momentum going, but also keep the grind on, because, you know, the games are like every day too. So like, it's very rare when people have more than like 2 days off. But in the MLB, like, you sometimes even get off like 1 day, or maybe sometimes an occasional 2. But that's I feel like you're playing on an occasional stretch where you're playing 6-7 days a week, but you get like 2 days off maybe in advance. But that's very rare. It's usually like 1 day off. And when the day off happens, it's when it's travel day. When, see, if your team's on a road trip, say the Yankees just finished their homestand and then they had to go to Minnesota. That's the 1 day off they get because they have to obviously travel there. Or the Sox finish a homestand in Oakland, then go back to Boston to play at Fenway for a week. It's the same thing. So, like, that's when they have, like, the, you know, consistent days off. But other than that, it's really just travel days or... it is about to be... 119. I'm going to go to my first break in about 10 seconds. Amanda, I want to say thank you for coming on. And
Thank you for having me.
We definitely got to do this again.
Yes, this was so much fun. Thank you.
Pat, thank you for letting me have her on.
Go Sox.
Go Amanda.
Go Sox
yeah.
and Yanks, man. All right, I'm going to my first break. And welcome back to Midday with the Raj on 103.5 WCCH, the best in variety. Back with Pat and Al. We just had Amanda Bronson on. Great show. Great start to the show. Great 20 minutes. And we'd love to have you back on. I'm sorry that I forgot to mention my 2 songs before we go to the PSA. That was the Avengers theme from the first Avengers back in 2012 and Batman 89's theme song by Danny Elfman, and the Avengers one was by Alan Sylvester. And I'm doing a little bit of theme songs. The last 2 you'll hear before the end of the show will be the Superman Returns theme, and you'll hear Justice League Unlimited's theme song from the cartoon back from the early 90s to 2000s. So enjoy those 2, but now we're going to do a little PSA. The HCC scholarships, the 2025-2026 HCC scholarship. Friday, is the last day for the HCC scholarships. Each year, the HCC Foundation offers more than $300,000 in scholarships to new, current, and transfer students. The application for this year's scholarships can be found on hcc.edu/scholarships. And students are welcome to go to the Scholarship Resource Center in Donahue 158 for help as well. They can also be reached via phone at 413-552-2182. That is 413-552-2182. Or via email at scholarships@hcc.edu from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Again, that's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Don't miss out on a great chance to finance your education and deadline. The deadline is March 14th and apply today. And the deadline is March 14th. So you got about 48 hours, folks, to try to get that scholarship.
Yep, and shout out to Yuritsa in the scholarship office for putting me onto that.
Yeah.
Doing a great job. Woo! And huge shout out to Amanda one more time. You killed it. Woo! Woo!
Shout out to Amanda Bronson for coming on the show. Appreciate you taking time out of your workday to come spend 20 minutes on Midday with the Raj.
You're a real one.
Yes. So I was literally in the middle of this, but when we get back to the script now, I'm in the middle of this. I was thinking yesterday, should I talk about the NBA last or the NBA third? And I said the NBA last, or not the NFL last, because the free agency just started, and we've had some wild things happen. So I was like, I gotta save the NFL for last.
Okay, sure.
So we're gonna go with NBA. We're gonna go to the Eastern Conference. Cleveland now is 55-10 because they won last night. Boston 47-18, taking on the Thunder tonight, the top team in the West. So that should be a battle at the TD Garden tonight at 7:30. I believe that's on ESPN.
That's a good one.
The Knicks are 41-30. The Milwaukee Bucks are 36-27. Indiana is 35-28. And then the Pistons are 36-29. So on the Western Conference, we got OKC playing the Celtics, like I said, tonight at 57-12. Sorry. Denver at 42-25. Lakers at 41-26. Memphis at 41-25. Houston 42-26, and Golden State sneaking up there at 38-27, I believe. So, quite the time, like I was mentioning earlier, Pat, with sports, and especially with the NBA. We're going like here and there, so like just the everyday game. So, but I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Golden State's taking on the Kings tomorrow night at home against Sacramento. But, hopefully we can get another W there. What do you think happens with the Celtics game tonight, home against the top seeding team in the West and the Oklahoma?
Yeah, that is a great matchup.
That's gonna be a war tonight.
Seriously, that's a borderline playoff preview, borderline maybe an NBA Finals preview. Yeah,
right about playoff preview, NFL NBA Finals.
Literally.
Here's the thing: last year's Thunder's been there, but they just haven't got to that spot yet. But personally, I think the Celtics are the best team in the NBA. I think they're better than the Cavs, Eastern Conference wise too. I just think it's because the Cavs, are at the number 1 seed right now because they got on a hot start. So do the Celtics, but personally, I think the Celtics have the best roster.
Yeah, so. And they're still pretty experienced from last year. They didn't lose a whole lot.
And I feel like because Porzingis is battling an injury right now, or not injury, actually an illness. right now. So he's been out for like 3 weeks. But I feel like when they get like the entire team back healthy is when they're gonna start clicking together again. So like they're already good, like they're fine. But like I feel like once that happens, like everyone together, like I said with the Bruins earlier, like they're it's gonna keep clicking.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Celtics take this one tonight, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a nail biter.
You got a score prediction?
Score prediction, I'm gonna say 108 to 106. Boston Celtics take it.
You did say a nail biter. You heard it from Pat LaBelle himself. 108 to 106.
Book it.
Book it now. I say that it'll be Celtics take the dub tonight, 111 to 108.
I like it. That's the same ballpark. I see that.
Around that. So, but I think it's like Pat said, we're in for a nail biter. We're in for a clash tonight. So it should be a fun one at TD Garden in Boston.
The Garden.
Like Pat said.
Yeah.
But it should be a fun one. Definitely tune into that if you're not doing anything, for sure. 7:30 tonight, Garden on ESPN. So, but no, long way to go. The NBA still. So, but the key to staying together and being successful is staying healthy too. But what do you think in the next 25, maybe 26 games? What the Celtics got to do just to stay hot to get into the playoffs? Like they already are, but
yeah, that's a good one. I mean? Well, the Celtics are a really strong team. They play good team basketball. But I do think sometimes they can, and this isn't just them. This goes for a lot of teams in the league. I think they can rely a little bit on the three ball. I say return to the mid-range. Whatever happened to the mid-range jumper, Big Al? I think the Celtics need to start finding that mid-range game a little bit instead of just relying so heavily on the three, even though they're not bad at the three ball.
So when it comes to shooting mid-range, maybe a little pep in their step?
A little pep in the step on the mid-range. And, whatever happened to a nice mid-range jumper? Bam.
I kind of like that. Like Pat said, it's not always about live or die by the three.
No, I don't like that. And I feel like that's so boring to watch as a fan, too.
That's sort of like today's day and age of basketball.
True. Old LaBelle yells at Cloud.
But all day and age of basketball are different. Not everything's the same.
True. Very true.
Eras. 80s different. Every era is different.
Very true.
Not everything's the same. So, but what do you think personally, Pat? I know this is like, I don't want to say it's a little off topic. What do you think the best era of basketball was? And I know I'm probably expecting you to say probably like, because like you probably grew up in this time, like probably I'm guessing you're gonna say like the 80s when all that stuff.
Yeah, I like the 80s a lot. I like kind of like peak. I told you, like I love greatness. So I love when Jordan was in the league. What was that, mid to late 90s maybe? That was pretty prime. I like the 80s because it was a lot more of a physical game. And, I'm a football guy more so than a basketball guy. So I liked when there was a little more physicality in the league and they would kind of let guys play a little bit more. I'd probably say around there, maybe like Bad Boys Pistons era too. How about you? Do you have a favorite?
Well, I didn't really start watching the NBA till like 2014, 2015. So I guess I just have to stay biased and say my era. But if I had to like go back and watch, like I'm gonna say my era, but like if I had to like go back and watch like the highlights between Larry and Magic when they were rivalry with the Celtics and Lakers,
oh yeah,
I'd probably sit down and watch that. Just, if it's like a random day and I'm bored and I'm not working or anything like that, I'll just maybe just throw on some random highlights, or even if it's like, like Curry LeBron highlights, Kobe LeBron highlights, maybe even like like Larry Magic, like throw on highlights like that, or something with Jordan. That's like if I'm like bored, but like I probably have to stay biased with that, and because like I said, I didn't like start watching until like that time. So but no, I was kind of expecting you to say that a little bit too, like not to say anything bad or anything. Like you know where I'm getting the gist of this, right?
No, I hear you. You read me like a book.
Oh, I wouldn't say it like that. I just, because like a lot of people say like they like the 80s, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
So, but no.
A little off topic here, but you mentioned the Lakers in like the Bird Magic years. There's a great show.
Documentary. I think it's about the rivalry.
Or I don't know if it was a document. They might have made. I know they made a Bird Magic documentary, but there's a great show on HBO documenting the Showtime Lakers, which was I think like more of a biopic, but it was really really good. and I'm blanking on the name. I think it's something Showtime Lakers, but check that out. John C. Reilly plays Jerry Buss, the owner.
Is it already out?
It's I think there's 2 seasons. I think it's done. I think it was it was like a mini series almost.
I know they came out with a Celtics show. It's on Max, or it's been out. How they got their 18th banner.
Oh, nice.
So, I thought you would be interested in that. So if you have Max, go look it up.
Yeah, I had to cancel it. Times are tough. But if anyone still has Max out there, check out the Showtime Lakers biopic and check out the Drive for 18 or whatever the Celtics one was.
Maybe you find it maybe there's clips of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It could be. But no, I thought I'd
pirate it.
I know you're a Celtics guy. So,
Yeah.
But no. Yeah, just to stay biased, I'll definitely say, because I didn't watch like anything like that, but like 2015, 14 is when I started watching. But no, stay biased to that. But no, that makes sense why you said that though. So, but I feel like like you were going back to the whole rivalry thing with Larry and Magic. That was probably like the best one of the best, if not the best rivalry.
Yeah, it's always good when there's kind of 2 people driving each other. And that's like really a healthy competition, I think.
Here's the thing. Larry's the best trash talker ever. I can 100% agree on that. He knew how to back it up, too.
Definitely. And that's the key with trash talk, because I love a good trash talker. I could be a pretty good trash talker sometimes. But if you don't back it up, that's whack. You got to have the walk to back up the talk.
Walk the walk to back
know what
up
I'm
the
saying?
talk. That's an old saying. Walk
Yep.
the walk to back up the talk. But Larry knew how to have a smack talk, and him and Magic could not stand each other. So,
but you know what? I think they had a respect.
They had a respect, but later on, they started becoming, good friends like that. Later on, but that was way after playing days were over. I don't know exactly the backstory, but I think is that accurate? You would know more than I would. So.
I think that is accurate. And also, I don't know if they ever really had like a real personal disdain. I think it was more like
a personal vendetta.
I think it was more of a professional thing where like they're both competitors at the end of the day. They want to be top dog, and you want your team to be top dog, even more so probably than you. Like I'm sure they would both rather another championship versus a scoring title. They're both like that, team first guys.
Celtics obviously have the most now. They have 18, and then the Lakers have 17, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's an iconic rivalry.
That was definitely a classic for them when they put up the 18th banner for the Celtics stuff. When that took place, but no, I just wanted to bring up a little bit of history. I know that I kind of went a little off the script, but because I was saving the NFL to when we hit 140.
Oh, got you.
I was like, why don't I talk a little history with Pat, and then we'll save the good stuff for the last 20 minutes.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
I was thinking, were you like watching that stuff like when the whole Larry Magic stuff was happening, or you weren't like born at that time? Or
No.
Or there's that later on during your time with the NBA. So.
Nah, I didn't see it during the 80s because I wasn't born yet. But, yeah, I got into it later on. I do like learning the history, not just of sports, of really a lot of different things. So
like just history of anything in life, basically.
History in general, yeah. There's a lot you can learn, I think, from history. There's a lot of cool things in there.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. That's why I love the library.
That says you can't do that, so.
Other than the radio station, my favorite place on earth, the library. Maybe even the HCC library, although I haven't went there as much as some of the public ones around here. But still, shout out HCC library, real ones.
It's an interesting place to live.
Yep. Love the library. # love the library.
Did you ever read comic books back in the day?
You know, it's funny. I was talking this about someone the other day. I was a big reader, still am, not to brag. But I never really got into the comic books, I will say. And even like the superhero themes and stuff, I was not really a huge Marvel guy. I'm more of an A24 indie film bro, some might say. That's kind of more my speed. But I'm not a hater either. Like what you like, if you like Marvel.
What do you mean by like A24?
It's kind of more of like an independent film company. They make kind of more unique stories, I'd say, versus like the good guy comes in, saves the day, and wins at the end.
So, like it's a hero backstory, but that's what it basically is, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of different types of stories, I'd say. But they've made a lot of great ones over the years. They made like Hereditary, Parasite, I might have just completely lied on Parasite. They might not have made that, but
That doesn't sound accurate.
oh my gosh, yeah, they've made a lot over the years. They're pretty good.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
So you were more into like the darker version of comic books, kind of.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Sure.
I'm not really into that type of stuff, but I did.
Or like
have,
dramas.
I did have the. I don't know if you ever heard of the Injustice storyline.
No, what's that all about?
So Joker like Metropolis gets blown up and and Superman's wife like is unborn. They end up like passing away and stuff like that. And
Oh, okay.
like Superman gets like mind controlled and stuff like that, and like it's a heartbreaking backstory. Like it's the most tragic thing besides Flashpoint. I don't know if you've heard of Flashpoint. Flashpoint is when Barry goes back in time and saves his mom and creates an alternate timeline where Bruce isn't Batman. He's passed away. Thomas Wayne's Batman.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Like the Joker is Martha Wayne, which is so messed up.
Oh wow.
But yeah, you'd have to go back and like read them. Anyways.
So do you know all the lore, kinda, for like all of them?
No, not really, but I do have.
But you know more than me. That was already way more than me. I like The Dark Knight though. I'll say
Dark
that.
Knight
That's a great
Returns.
watch. Yeah. And that whole trilogy,
I've seen
really cool.
Yeah, I love I love that's my favorite, probably my 3 favorite movies in DC. Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. I thought you were talking about like the Dark Knight Returns with Frank Miller, but that's the one where he battles Superman.
Oh no, I don't think I saw that one yet. I saw Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises, and I think Batman Begins.
So I've seen those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nolan trilogy. Christian Bale is my personal favorite Batman.
I think I'd have to agree. He's really good.
Michael Keaton's great though. I'm not looking at he's awesome.
Oh, I did see the new Joker too with Joaquin Phoenix.
I mean, the Joaquin Phoenix was okay, but he's not. Nah.
You weren't a big fan?
Yeah, the first one.
I thought it was alright.
It wasn't great. So.
Yeah.
Vibes was too violent too. Way too violent.
Yeah, I agree too. I'm not a huge fan of the violence. Peace and love.
So let's get to NFL. You know, I wanted to wait till like at least 1:40.
All right, yeah, here we go.
Let's do it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, free agency has started. Third day of the NFL free agency. Just to name a few things, I wasn't gonna name every single person that signed, but I got Josh Allen, 6 years, $330 million contract through 2030. So the reigning MVP.
Wait, say that one more time.
Josh Allen, quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, what was the deal?
6 years, $330.
Wow.
Contract through 2030. What do you got on that, Pat?
That is some serious cash right there. Honestly, though, it seems like a pretty good deal in terms of, like, I always think it's crazy in any of the leagues when it starts getting to become, like, 10-year deals, 12-year deals. It's like, oh, my God, that's like an entire career, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
6 years is solid. And, oh, my gosh, so what is that annually?
Ugh. I don't know. I probably couldn't.
It's been too long for the math for me.
But no, that's the first one off the board.
Wow, it's like $50 million a year.
For the Patriots-wise, for you, Milton Williams, D-tackle, agrees to the deal with New England. Pay him $104 million for 4 seasons, including $63 million guaranteed.
Whoa. Wait a minute. So where was he coming from again? That one is actually really pretty surprising just because you don't usually see that kind of money thrown at a D-tackle.
Milton Williams was on the Panthers, and he's coming from... Yeah, Patriots signed D-tackle. He's coming from Philly.
Oh.
He was on Carolina too, but he's coming from Philly.
That's what we call the old Super Bowl bump, giving him an extra $20 million.
I think that's a big signing for the Pats too.
Yeah.
I think he's going to help out a lot too. But I just wanted to get your take on that. What do you think? You think that's going to be huge?
Yeah, well, don't get it wrong. The Pats need all the help they can get. They need some new talent.
I can't talk. My team needs so much help.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. I see he's 25, so getting him kind of at the prime of his career, hopefully.
Yeah, should be cool.
Seems like a decent signing. The Pats needed to make a splash or do something.
They're having a good offseason so far.
Yeah.
So.
We're talked about it. I think they're really trying to retool here. They don't want to have another down year.
No, I think Mike Vrabel's going to go in there and really change your organization. Help out a lot.
Yeah, I saw they were doing some stuff in the community on the news the other day. Pretty cool. A little shaving fundraiser.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like that.
I didn't know about that.
I like that.
Giants signed former Dolphin safety Javon Holland to a 3-year deal. Kind of like it. It was a nice sign. I've heard the guy's name before, but it was a nice signing. I like that. The Giants made some pretty small signings. We got a D tackle. We got Chancey Bilbis from defensive end that used to be on Dallas that we signed yesterday too. So I like that. I think we have a younger type of group when it comes to defense right now. It looks like maybe you could get even younger during the draft.
That's solid. Take that.
So, I think the younger the better. I think. I mean,
yeah, it kind of
build as much talent as you can get from the youngins, and then, you know.
It's funny. Like you need some older guys in the locker room. I think just to be like leaders and show the young guys the ropes.
Like for example,
talent's talent.
For example, when we signed Darius Slayton to that 3-year extension the other day, like Malik Neighbors really looks up to him. He's a good mentor to him. So having him, and I didn't realize this was year 7 for him.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
New York Giant. Wow. I thought it was like year 5 fat. I was like, year 7?
NFL, too. Anything more than 3 years is something to be proud of because it's such a brutal league in terms of injuries.
And guys don't really last that long.
No. So, running backs, forget about it. You're lucky to get 2.
Last the least. Wide receiver Devontae Adams signs 2 years, $40 million deal with Rams.
I think that's a great deal for the Rams, honestly. I mean, Adams is kind of getting slept on right now, I think. He was one of the best receivers in the league. Still probably has the talent.
Yeah, he does. And
although, you know what? He probably is older than I think, too.
I feel like him and I'll look that up in a minute. I feel like him and Matthew Stafford are going to be cool together.
Yeah, that should be solid.
So, especially after Cooper Kupp just got released.
Oh, I missed that, actually.
So,
oh, my God.
Where do you think Cooper Kupp would land?
I don't know, but that'd be a good pickup for someone. Take a flyer on. Was that a money thing, do you know, or was that a play issue?
I think that they said that they were it was like a little bit of both, but I think that they were Kupp said he wanted to get traded too. Yes, he did actually say that. So
so that's not bad then. He kind of got what he wanted.
Well, he also has been on the Rams for so long. I think his entire career, I believe.
Sometimes a mutual breakup really is a mutual breakup.
Yeah,
and not someone getting their heart torn out.
Especially when it comes to sports.
Yeah, for sure.
So we got Khalil Mack resigns with Chargers on a 1-year, $18 million contract.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Did you see that Joey Bosa got released from the Chargers and then he got signed by the Bills?
No, I didn't see that. Why did he get released? That's kind of surprising, no?
A little bit. I'm kind of shocked why the Chargers would do that too. When I saw that, I was very shocked. I didn't know what to expect when I saw Joey Bosa get released.
You wonder if that's like a behind-the-scenes thing.
My friend is a huge San Francisco 49ers fan. I was like, well, what if him and Nick Bosa are on the same team together? Clearly not. He just got signed by the Bills last night. So shocked me, yes. But they also got a lot off the salary cap. But personally, I guess it's a win-win, but Joey Bosa's amazing. I don't know. It's a win-win, but it doesn't. But
I remember watching him back in the day at Ohio State. He was always a great player.
Yeah, I looked up the other day. He was a Buckeye.
Yeah.
So what do we got? I'm looking right now.
And for those of you who are just tuned in, I just want to remind you, you're listening to 103.5 WCCH, Holyoke, Mass.
Yes, Hassan Reddick has agreed to terms, 1-year deal, $14 million, with the Bucks.
And take that.
1 year, $14 million, 12. Just to name a few other people, Sam Darnold signed with Seattle. Justin Fields went to the Jets. Just to name a few things.
Justin to the Jets, bam.
Unfortunately, I will mention this. The Giants are in serious talks with Aaron Rodgers. Not a fan of that.
Oh, yeah, so let's talk about that.
Not a fan of that at all. Because
really? One of the greats. You're not ready.
In my opinion.
Oh, but you think he's a little bit of a choke artist, right?
No, it's not that. He's 40. He's a 40-year-old, and if we got him, he'd be on our team for a year.
Well, that's kind of tough, too. You're not really building.
The only way I feel like we have him like that is if we get a quarterback to have him help teach, I guess. But I don't really want a guy like him on our team for a year. Like, the only two teams it's coming down to is us and Pittsburgh.
Plus,
please just go out to Pittsburgh.
Based on what I've seen with him, I don't know if he's really dying to be playing anymore.
Doesn't really seem like it.
I feel like he might be kind of teetering if he wants to come back.
End of his days. I don't want him on my team. He's also a little weird too. I don't really want him on my team. So
Yeah, he can be
He's
a
done
little
some
bit
weird
oddball.
stuff in the past, so
Yeah.
and he's more of a demander. He's not really a guy. I don't want a guy around like that.
No, we want the team, guys. The team.
I don't want a guy like him. He's 40. He's old. He's washed. He's not the same guy, and that I feel like that would just be a mess. So I'm like waiting to see like when he's gonna make up his mind. Like I'm hearing it's in the next few days, but I just don't. I don't want him anywhere near the Giants. I don't.
What would you say is the top signing from your standpoint?
The last two teams, the two teams it's coming down to is us and Pittsburgh.
And even just free agency as a whole, not just Aaron Rodgers. What stood out to you as like maybe the best pickup out of all the ones you just mentioned?
I don't know. There's been a boatload of like best pickups. I couldn't. I feel like the person that got the most overpaid was Josh Allen. They gave Josh Allen way too much money.
That is just a crazy amount.
6 years, 330 is insane. He might have been the MVP. In my opinion, he shouldn't have been the MVP. It should have been Lamar. I said that to you a boatload of times, but they overpaid him way too much money. Now, if I don't know exactly what the best signing would be. That's kind of hard to determine because so many people have signed in the last 48 hours, so I couldn't like tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But out of the list that I've seen right now,
Yeah, that Allen contract, that's got to be one of the biggest
he
in
was the
history.
most overpaid. They overpaid.
Is that the biggest in history? Do you know?
I don't know, but it might be. It's got to be up there.
Right up there. Oh, actually, well, didn't Mahomes get like $500,000 or $500 million or something?
Like that. You know, it was a year ago today when Saquon Barkley got the deal with the Eagles. Not today, yesterday.
Oh, wow.
My friend sent that to me yesterday.
But that one ended up paying off. Speaking of running backs.
It still breaks me a lot. Oh, it breaks me a lot.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Just for ha-has, Daniel Jones signed with the Colts. Just for ha-has.
Oh, so, yeah.
Hey, if you watch the Pat McAfee show, go to the segment because Pat McAfee's a big Indianapolis Colts fan, go to the segment when he was celebrating like crazy. He was like, "We got Daniel Jones!" And he was like celebrating. I watched the show live when he was doing that yesterday, and I was like, have fun with that.
Yeah, you saw everything you needed to know in 6 years.
Unless if Richardson gets hurt and he wins the starting job, or he somehow takes it. Like Anthony Richardson he's not very good. I don't think he's personally very good. But unless he takes a job, I'd have fun with that. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a great story though?
Sure.
If Daniel Jones came up and resurrected his career.
No,
I don't see it happening, though.
It's possible, though. Hey, it's possible, but I don't really see it. But he got signed by the Colts yesterday. Actually, my friend called that too. Another NFL news. You're listening to 103.5 WCCH, Best in Variety with Pat and Al with Midday with the Raj.
Whoop, whoop.
We got Myles Garrett. And I thought he requested a trade too, Pat, and. He's back with the Browns. I'm going to tell you his contract right now.
Oh, yeah.
Myles Garrett. Let's do it. Where is it? We're going to get this contract right now. He got an extension the other day at Yahoo Sports. Agrees to a contract extension and make him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history.
Wow, there you go.
What was the deal?
Yeah, what was the numbers here?
The numbers were... so all is well. Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns. The two sides have agreed on a contract extension that will pay the defensive end of average annual salary of $40 million over 4 years. It includes $123.5 million guaranteed.
Wow, the guaranteed money's crazy too.
Yeah, $123.5.
Honestly, he has a good agent.
Yeah, you definitely does. That's
wow.
Insane, dude. $123.5 million guaranteed.
Yeah, if I was an agent in the NFL, it's all about that guaranteed money because you don't know what's going to happen.
That contract was insane because I remember he wanted to get traded too. He requested a trade. So that kind of shocked me very heavily. But out of all the trades I just told you, I know you asked me what you think, or not trades, signings. What do you think was the one that stood out to you? I don't know, because they're kind of hard to pick one off the top of your head.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the Myles Garrett, honestly, just because that is a lot of money, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
a good player, though.
Cool to see him go back though to the Browns. Give him something.
Yeah, well, remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about him on the podcast, saying that he wanted to trade, he wanted to get out. Remember?
Yeah.
And then a week or two later, reaches an extension. Like, I don't know. I mean, but free agency day 3 is today, so a lot of time to go with free agency, but crazy last 48 hours of the NFL. I don't know, Pat. I feel like it's just gonna go on and on from here until the NFL draft.
Yep.
Getting close to that, by the way. Next month.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to March Madness too. That should be fun.
When exactly does March Madness? I know it start. Does it start in like?
I want to say it's next week.
Next week. We might have to do a bracket.
Oh, definitely got to do a bracket as soon as that comes out.
That might be a cool idea. Why not?
They usually put it out, I think, at the Sunday before, the first week.
So this Sunday.
Might be this Sunday actually.
It's the Sunday before the first week. So
It might be.
that should be fun. No, we should definitely check that out for sure. I didn't realize that we were already in March Madness. I thought that we had a little more time, but
Yeah.
looks like we're getting close to that. So, yeah, I don't really like pay attention to college hoops like that. But do you like any? What's like your favorite? Like,
I'll never like seek out a college game, but if it's on the TV, maybe I'll catch a few minutes. But I always will watch the March
it's
Madness
exciting though. It's fun.
just 'cause it's fun. Yeah.
It's fun to watch. So they're always insane games too.
I like the upsets. I always like the underdog, the little guy.
Sure. So we got like 3 minutes, but
Yeah. Closing thoughts.
you think the Pats have had a good start to their free agency. I think you're gonna like Milton Williams too.
Yeah. I think that's a huge signing. Get some beef up front. Need that.
There you go.
Push him into the backfield.
Yeah,
That'd be
definitely-
solid.
Definitely some good signings, but like I said, free agency just kicked off, just started, so it only goes on from here. Just the last few days have been crazy because everyone's getting signed.
Yeah, it's really kind of picked up.
So, and like you're looking at it, and then like I feel like yesterday it wasn't as crazy as the first day. The first day is always the craziest. Like people signing or getting released. So, but like Pat said, it only goes on from here, and I think that this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So.
All right, final word before our final songs of the day.
Yeah. I think it's been a great show.
Me too. Oh yeah, my final word today would be shout out Amanda for coming on.
Yeah,
that was great.
Thank you, Amanda.
I also want to shout out HCC Music Department Jazz Night tomorrow night. Hoping to make it. Some horrible car trouble, so we shall see. But hoping to pop out. That's going to be great. That's 6 to 10 at Theodore's tomorrow. So shout out HCC Music. Woo!
Also, my 3rd episode for Midday with the Rod should be on later on today. We'll be on YouTube.
Yes.
I know that me and Pat are a few weeks behind, but don't worry, people.
Busy, folks. Trying our best.
Don't worry, people. We'll get it out there.
Yep.
So, closing thoughts. Oh yeah, I got a new job in Westfield at the MAIPSE.
Yeah. Woo!
So I'm starting Friday and Saturday as a dishwasher. But other than that, I don't really got much. Next week, I will be here. I know it's college break, but I will be here Wednesday from 1 to 2 next week with another special guest. His name's Ian. He's a big Seattle sports fan, and so I'll have Ian on the show with me. Maybe he might be my guest for the entire show. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll tune into that Wednesday 1 to 2 next week during the college break. Other than that, the last 2 songs are Superman Returns theme song and Justice League Unlimited. Thank you to listening to Midday with the Raj with Pat and Al. We'll be back next week 1 to 2, same time, same channel. Have a good one.
See ya.